Hello everyone, welcome to the first episode of Enqurious TV. I'm your host Mansi Mutreja and today we have Ms. Shuchismita as our first guest. Hello Shuchismita, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good too, thanks for asking. So for this first episode, we're going to proceed like we'll be having a discussion on a technical topic and we'll be discussing the approach you use to solve it and answers to many interesting questions. So are you ready? Shall we begin?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so what do you have for us to show everybody? What problem you're currently working on?
Currently, I'm working on a database agent building. Like nowadays, is everywhere having the hype of using the AI agent. So why not? So yeah,
Yeah, we've heard a lot about every time, everywhere you'll go, you'll look about these kind of these words, technical terms going about agents. So can you just explain a little bit more about what agents are?
yeah. So agents, you can think of your personal assistant kind of thing, like taking
Okay.
your load from your shoulder and doing autonomously. Like here, AI is basically mimicking our human behavior, the taking decisions and all. So now AI, the technology is that much level up that agents basically, if I define their goal, their set of tasks, what they have to do and not, even not which don't, they that kind of security levels, if we provide all of these things, like you don't have to look at it every step to their task, they can do autonomously based on the context, memory, whatever, how human we do actually, they can do by themselves. And yeah, after all, it's machines, so time to time
Yeah.
we have to go back and check their, like, some sanity check, how they are doing, is there in some technical issues, glitches are there or not, so that kind of check, but it reduce a lot manual effort.
Okay. So it's like basically a chatting Alexa where we can just give the instructions and we can get our work done,
Yeah,
right?
and
That's what
that's for
agents
the
mean.
customized way, like for particularly our task, like Alexa, Google Assistant, this kind of
Yeah,
do multiple things, right? So here
correct.
for like a security level also there, because it can do particularly for our task only, and
Okay.
its expertise having for our task only. So it will be very detailed one. We all, like, obviously in our this world we don't have a target to achieve 100% accuracy, but
Correct.
sometimes data is sensitive, right? So we at least try to approach that, so the more we, our agent, those assistants will
Hmm.
know more particularly about our task, it will be more accurate, so you can think like.
Okay, so basically you're trying to say that we train it on a particular data set. So
Hmm.
whatever purpose we are building those agents for, they'll
Hmm.
do we'll get 100% accuracy. So they'll do those tasks most accurately.
Yeah.
While if we give them some other general tasks, they might not be able to do them accurately, correct?
Yeah, exactly. Like you cannot just like normal chit chat with it.
Ha, of
It will
course.
not. Like sometimes with chat GPT even we can do. Like if you try
Uh,
to gossip normally it can do. But
yeah,
these having like obviously these purpose have done some costing behind it, and we always giving a guardrail there. Like, oh, you
okay,
can't ask more than that. Like that also security purpose, like client A information can't go to the client B. So
obviously.
yeah, so that kind of security level, we don't entertain any other type of conversation here.
Okay, got it. So by guardrails, you mean like some a compliance which the agent has to follow or a limit up to which it can answer, the domain it can answer up to, correct? That's
Yeah,
what you mean by
it's like
guardrails.
have
Okay.
do's and don'ts, like very
Okay.
specifically mentioned. They
Hmm.
can't go beyond that. So like
Okay.
it will, if you ask even, it will reply like,
Hmm.
I can't go with it. I can't give you the answer very specifically.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to the next question, like people would want to know how much difficult is it to build an AI agent, or is it just easy? Like, suppose if I am an AI engineer and I
Hmm.
have to build an agent, but I'm a novice, I'm a beginner.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
so I have very little experience right now in this industry and with very little knowledge. So how easy it becomes for me, or how difficult it becomes for me to build this AI agent?
So like building a AI agents now, we have like non-code versions even. Like if
Oh,
even if you don't know any code at all, like you never touch upon non-technical person, still you can build. Like we have
okay.
in 8 9 our website. I just saw that there are multiple nowadays, and people even like there are so many engineers out there. They are trying to experiments and having there are lots of that kind of agents over internet. So
Nice.
yeah,
Hmm.
even if you see the Hugging Face, that's the right thing, right? There you can see
Correct.
so many LLM models already
Uh-huh.
trained there, you can use it. So same like that, like a non-coder person even can take help from this, can build their AI agents. But again, the point of the costing, it we prefer for the coding one. If you build by your own, don't take some services from others which providing non-code versions. So for that costing part we hear.
Hmm.
And if you think about like how much it's like difficulties in the sense,
Hmm.
like if you are AI engineer, you are interested in it, obviously you can go through it. Is
Correct.
nothing is impossible nowadays. Like just we
Agreed.
have to keep the curiosity to learn about it, that's all.
Sure. I agree with you completely. That's right. Like, suppose if I want to build something, I can take help from various sources. But I think
Hmm.
sometimes we get stuck at some points and where ChatGPT cannot help us. So
Yeah.
at that point, we need human touch. We need somebody who can mentor us, guide us through it. And
Hmm.
then we are all done and good to go
Yeah.
ahead,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so coming to the next question, I would want to ask you is like, suppose if I want to build an AI agent,
Hmm.
then what all technologies do I need to leverage, or like what all frameworks? What all do you do it in coding? Just as you said, like there are no code versions of AI agents as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
So how to go on about it? Like what's the approach? How do you start? What's the fruit for it?
Yeah. So even like if in your mind having a problem statement, very first
Mm-hmm.
thing, try to build a flow and architecture. Like we are like even you're
Yeah.
focusing like over on the agent part, but there are lot of focus we need to provide in the data set.
Oh,
Yeah, because see, even like as a data professional, data scientist, we always like, okay, it's the business problem. We will do modeling, machine learning. We
correct.
always stay there, but data set is like a main place where you will put the break, right? If you don't
Hmm.
keep it like the place a proper way, how you can put a break and build a house like that? So
Right.
data set is a lot focus is need there, so how you will process the data set, that's where you have to be like provide a very much importance there. After that is come with the architecture of agents. Even like you want to go with a single agent or your multiple agent. If the multiple agents you want to go, then it can be like multiple architecture we have, like
Yeah.
parallel, hierarchical, hybrid, so many options are there. It's like I am asking you to do the task, and now after that you go other 2%, divide your task to them. They did their task, then they came back to you. You check, you do the validations part, like yes, the work is done.
Huh.
Then you give me. So I am like, okay, I am giving to the client. So it what happens? It's a chain, right? But
Correct.
what if you guys are not there? Just I have to do it by myself, then
Hmm.
it's like hectic, it's like big chunk of work. I will take a lot of cost to do that,
Yeah.
right? So it's always like for any particular task, if it's a big chunk, and it always very confusing for us. So
Hmm.
if we do a step by step of breakdown, then it helps us, right?
Yeah.
Similarly, agents also can confuse and do hallucinate.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's the reason if we our task bring it any small part, like some part is like suppose orchestration, it can take decision which agent next, this task we have from client, which next agent can help us with it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so next agent, maybe one agent is like some asking for engagement, how's the
Hmm.
engagement rate and all that kind of information. One
Right.
is having like maybe the overall performance, the ROI, that kind of information.
Okay.
So you when you ask like, okay, I want to know the next 3 months ROI, this kind of, you ask
Mm-hmm.
that. So
Correct.
orchestration, that agent will go to the performance one. So they will take that decision. Okay.
Hmm.
So then go for that agent. So that agent do that. So other agent is relaxed. Fine.
Okay.
But so that's how, like, if you bring it in small chunk, or orchestration agent, if I don't do this setup, how we will do that? Agent will first think like, okay, what kind of question it is, with which
Hmm.
data set I have to go,
Yeah.
then it will go there, do the performance. Then again, for that level of setup, they will think the prompting part, SQL codes, that's the
Correct.
things. But if I break it down, it helps a lot. So,
Hmm.
and obviously again, like if I create a large team to do a small task, it will be a messy one, like everyone start gossiping, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's always a balanced and optimized way. And like I can say, like I got this like with experience. Like the more you will make your hand
Yeah.
dirty doing these things, you will get the idea.
More the number of errors, more is your
Yeah,
efficient optimization and efficiency and perfection at it. Correct.
yeah, yeah.
So basically, if I get the idea of AI, if I've got the idea correct, I think AI agents, if you're talking about multiple agents, then it's like a team lead who has
Hmm.
divided the work within its
Ah.
people who are working under him or her. And
Hmm.
then they are doing the work, they're getting the validation done from the team lead, and that's how. And
Yeah.
obviously, within a team, also sometimes one person has more work, other person is relaxed. And so this is how the burden is
Hmm.
divided, right?
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, and just to get the correct understanding of how it works is like first of all we get the problem statement wherein I have to build an agent. Let's take an example of a global mart e-store or a physical store where we have to build the agent for
Hmm. Hmm.
answering the customer queries. So we have the
Ah.
problem statement there. Then we have to gather the data set for that purpose,
Hmm.
then handling the data set, and that's how we go ahead like deciding what kind of agent do we want, just a single agent or a multiple agent or a hierarchical
Hmm.
agent or the others you have
Ah.
told about, right?
Ah.
And
Yeah.
that's how we go on about it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
and then how you build the architecture diagram just to explain it and keep it like proper in your mind also, how things are going to flow and how things are going to work properly.
Yeah. Yes.
So just to tell more about more to the audience about what architecture diagram and why is it important for us? Like why do we need to build an architecture diagram? We can just directly go, we can think of the problem statement in our mind, and we can just directly go and start doing the coding part. Like, but why is architecture diagram required
Ah.
in between? So can you please explain that?
Yeah, sure. That's very interesting part of it, because mostly we don't think about the costing part, because either way, like if we do our paid projects outside, we try to find out free resources to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, in market, yeah, there's so many free resources to experiments on.
correct,
But in industry, when you are doing for the scalability purpose, right? So
correct.
you like a company can't invest a lots of money there, like without any kind of budget. So there always a budget thing is there.
Yeah.
And even if someone give you like, okay, I have this, do this coding part,
Hmm.
there some mastermind is there who build the architecture. After that, that task to come to you, because when you
Okay.
build the architecture, you will get the idea what will be your infra cost,
Huh.
what kind of model is coming. Like you are getting directly, the cloud is there, your
Huh.
workspace is there, everything is done. So you're getting that. But someone is thought like, okay, for this one I can give, like this is the minimum requirement of the workspace I need, and this that kind of monthly I will get some cost. And this is the infra cost. And even for the agent part, or even not agent, for other LLM models cases, it's always, if you see, token wise, it takes some dollars, maybe
Yeah,
some $0.12 or something
correct.
like that, but it take. So,
Hmm.
and token means is like if I write a 20 words query, so it taking that kind of token. So
Okay.
how much it can.
Hmm.
Like sometimes some tasks it can be needed a lot of text from customer side from queries.
Correct.
Like if you think about something mental health kind of chatbots, that kind of thing where clients obviously will blabber something, they
Correct.
need to yelp about their thoughts. So that
Yeah.
kind of it's need to focus more, the cost will be go there to process their inputs, lots
Correct.
of takes there. But where in our client side it will be very minimal, they will mention the batch, they will mention I want to go here for the particular specific product, so they will mention that. So that kind of thing, if you think before ahead, you can optimize the cost, like you can set a level, okay, minimum this much
Yeah.
and maximum this much. And
Okay.
like it's not only about the AI in data science, and every data professional face that. Like
Correct.
for the POC case, like
Hmm.
if we don't calculate the cost of it, the POC, mostly people will team leads and they all say like I can do I afford not can't afford that much cost to for building that, instead I can hire two new person, two new employees, they
Right.
can do. Why?
Correct.
So it's not only solving a problem with like I
Hmm.
solved it, but also the problem of costing. So when you have the full map in your head, like what where which things I will do, where I will hosting the endpoint and everything, you will get the idea of costing. And this is the biggest part of it, and you will have a point like okay, I have to go this path.
Right.
Like yeah, like you will not fumble around, like where
Got
okay, let's
it.
try this, let's try this. No, first thoughts, dump it, clear it about it, then go for it, then it will be a clear idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we know like architecture diagrams are really important because they provide a good trajectory, what we have to
Hmm.
follow before starting a project.
Hmm.
And we cannot stop the project in between. So we should have a clear idea about what cost we're gonna have to bear for that particular
Hmm.
project. So
Yeah.
we can get to know like it falls within our range or not, and then
Ah,
we can
yes.
start and go ahead with
Hmm.
that project, right? Because we
Yeah.
should
Yeah.
know what all technologies we'll have to leverage and what
Hmm.
all tools we'll
Yeah.
require cloud or not, and then how much is the cost. So we have to calculate that cost. So it's
Hmm.
important, pretty much important for us to build that
Yeah.
architecture diagram
Yeah.
before going
Yeah.
ahead solving the problem. Because
Yeah.
as a professional, it's not just necessary that we should go about how we should solve the problem statement,
Hmm.
but it should also be that like what all things we'll be requiring for that and what will be the cost for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why architecture diagrams are good,
Yeah.
really important.
Yeah.
Okay, Shuji. So I think we have got an understanding of what you're working on and how you approached it. So now I think we're gonna start with a Damshara's round, wherein I'll be asking you questions and you have to answer it within just a few words or one line.
Okay.
And please try to answer it very fast.
Okay,
Okay,
I will.
without taking much time.
Okay.
So are you ready?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So what's the problem that kept you up all night and made you say I have to fix this while you were making building these AI agent?
Mainly like how I can partition the data and keep it like for security purpose.
Okay. Compliance,
Yeah.
sensitivity of data.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next is how did you realize this was even a problem worth solving? Like any aha moment you had to face?
I saw operation stream to struggle. So it's like
Okay.
really head up.
Okay. And what was your first crazy idea to fix it? Like, did it work or did it fail spectacularly? The first approach you thought of, like how you can solve this problem statement of building an AI agent,
Hmm.
which type of AI agent you should use, single, multiple, hierarchical. So, what was the first idea you had, and were you successful in the first idea itself, or you had to go iterate through multiple ideas to get yourself successful?
Multiple times, and maybe I guess I added 10, 12 agents there and I like okay, I have to hire a whole company to do that.
Okay, got it. All right. So, how did you finalize your approach and any unusual inspirations you have? Like, from where did you research? Okay, this is the approach I should finalize. This is the best one. How did you finalize that?
Uh, Mostly I like instead of agents I thought about the human perspective, like if it's there a human being how it
Hmm.
will be. I will separate my tasks as a like if I think myself a team lead, how I will
Ha,
separate that. So that helps
correct.
actually.
Okay, that's a really good point. You should, because every time you're solving a problem, I think it's important that we should think from human perspective,
Huh.
and then problem solving becomes a little bit easy for us.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next question I have for you is like, were you doing this alone, or were there a team of wizards, tech wizards with you who were working on this problem
Like
statement?
yeah, like obviously I have one from my team who is like helping me some like I am
Okay.
giving that. But if you ask me like who is like with 24 hours, 7 days is with me is like ChatGPT, Perplexity. They are with me. Like I am just disturbing them the much like if I do some human being, they will leave me alone. Okay, so yeah.
So they have become our best friends for this era.
Yeah.
Like ChatGPT, we cannot live without them. ChatGPT
Yeah.
and Perplexity. Okay,
Yeah.
great, great.
Yeah.
So, what's the biggest win so far you've had in this problem statement? I think completing your architecture diagram for a
Yeah.
starter.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's a starter actually, like giving me like, okay, now I have to calculate the cost. Now I have to go
Uh-huh.
to solve it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is the biggest win. Okay, now finally achieved the architecture diagram, and now I can go
Yeah.
about solving. Sometimes while building all these things, calculating the cost, we get frustrated and we just want to go ahead and jump on the problem statement and start
Yeah.
working on that. So that
Hmm.
phase is also a little annoying, but yeah, that's important enough as you just
Hmm.
explained. So of course,
Yeah.
okay. So while you were trying to solve this problem, was there anything unexpected which came your way? And that was a breakthrough, like you thought, ki, I don't want to work on this problem statement anymore.
Um, like when I just look at the costing part of the agents. Like some agents really cost a lot, but
Okay.
yeah, but according to how much work they will do, they deserve it. But yeah, I felt like okay, a human can do, go for it.
Yeah, expensive best friend.
Yeah,
Okay. Um, all right. So tell me about a time when everything went wrong and what was the oh no moment that, oh, why did I do this? This is also not correct. Was
yeah.
there any such
Um,
moment?
Not as such, but I become a little confused about how the agent last response will go to the client. Like, will I
Acha.
need any more agent there or simple a workflow or nothing like that, some coding function Python and
Ha.
give it to client. So I become confused there and it takes help from my team member also. I took help there.
Ah, okay, okay. And that's absolutely fine. That's what I said. Like, oh, every time ChatGPT can't be there. So we need
Uh,
a human touch, and that's what human expertise is for,
yeah,
right? So
exactly,
we need that,
exactly.
of course. So it's
Yeah.
really important. And I think if you ask ChatGPT, it'll just answer to the specific domain. When I'm talking to a human being, the biggest
Hmm.
benefit of that is that we'll
Yeah.
also get to know some other things related to the same thing,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah,
Right. So
exactly.
that is one of the biggest
Yeah,
advantages of it.
yeah. Like I can suggest like chat using AI tools this kind of okay for brainstorming.
Huh.
Like do for the draft, but still now if you talk with a person, the much knowledge you can gain, you can't gain with this AI
Correct.
tools.
I agree
Not
with you
possible.
completely. That's not
Yeah.
possible at all.
Yeah.
Okay, so coming to the next question quickly. So, what is the weirdest bug you've encountered? Like you thought, you never even thought कि this type of bug would be there. कि इसमें तो bug आएगा ही नहीं, but वो आ गया. What was that one situation?
For this architecture case, security data leakage purpose where
Ah,
I didn't thought it can be possible like okay if I put here it will be done but it's
ah,
like no there again we have to put the
oh,
even the also there are point of the matrix like we say like okay agents done but how agents are performing how I will know I didn't thought about it so
okay.
later that much I say na like human being touch he
Hmm.
mentioned like okay if you thought like that how you will measure
Huh.
it it's performing good or not like okay so yeah like yeah I have to thought that also like
Okay.
how this works and all so yeah
Okay. Two more questions. So the last second question is just tell me three errors you had to face while building this architecture diagram.
Errors uh, to connect basically the data pipeline to multi-agent workflow, because these are
Okay.
like very cross connections are there. So
Hmm.
how to do that, and I have to brainstorm a lot. And another error I can say, like I already mentioned about the user
Great.
point, like the last one, like how it will go for the client. That's the output. So
Correct.
that kind
Correct.
of error. And also in the data processing pipeline itself, I was for very first thought, for first iteration, I was thinking to just filter it out and keep it like that in different table. And then
Hmm.
after some discussions, some brainstorming, I came out, we have to do liquid clustering, that partitioning part of
Okay.
it. So
Okay.
I don't have too much knowledge about it, but I came out the thought, and that's very interesting. This partitioning, this helps a lot. So yeah,
Right.
so these are the points I can mention.
Okay. Good. All right. So now I would want you to present your architecture diagram to us so we can just have a look as in how you build the architecture diagram. If somebody doesn't know how does an architecture diagram looks like, so we can just get some familiarity with it.
Yeah. So I will just give you glimpse and then set up. Okay.
Works. Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah. So if you see, like here, this is the pipeline, data pipeline you can short of, and this is the multi-agent pipeline. This is the
Hmm.
workflow of it. Basically I used Draw IO, that tool. Basically, that's a good one to draw this kind of things.
Which
And
tool did you use?
draw.io.
Okay.
Yeah, this comes with Google one.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
Draw.io.
yeah. So there, very first thing I was thinking about, like, okay, I will make it like a workflow, that kind of that
Hmm.
structure and all. But as I'm not expert to build this architecture, it take a little, like not little, I spent hours to build that. But after that, end of the day, you have to just make it understandable. It's not
Yeah.
like WhatsApp formats and all. You can see not that kind of formats are here, but it's understandable. Like
Correct.
here, our data will store in SQL database, Azure SQL. So from there,
Okay.
data is coming. I am using Databricks for the first pre-processing and liquid clustering. So
Okay.
here you can see the word batch inference. It's like, see, our data is like real time. So every like a second can be some changes there, it can come. So for the first iteration POC for cost optimization, what I will do, I will maybe run two times a day. Maybe in morning 9 and in evening 5. I run that, then it will like not always I have to bear the cost of this infra, this running this pipeline.
Okay.
Yeah, so it will like, okay, this data is stored here, it's fine. Every time is storing here, but in
Yeah.
every day morning 9, I will pass it to this pipeline and feed this here. And again,
Okay.
evening 6, I will do that again. So
Acha. So
it
this
will
is
like,
all happening autonomously. You don't have to intervene in this
yeah,
process, right? You've
yeah.
scheduled this for 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. in the evening.
Hmm. Yeah, that's why I'm
Great.
using Databricks, that I can schedule the job.
Schedule it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's why I prefer Databricks here, and I
Huh.
have some hands-on, so I choose
Okay.
Databricks.
Okay.
Okay, so after that you can see user authentication, because our data is too much sensitive for clients. So
Yeah.
client A and client B can't be go with it. So I
Okay.
need a very much login, password, and these
Hmm.
things.
Okay.
So after that, this is the chain, very first chain we interested about, to take the user input and figure it out, the program IDs and all from the query. Now the orchestration agent will understand what kind of query it's asking. Then it will
Yeah.
have two type of engagement and performance. So these two, like engagement agent will take particularly that data is
Hmm.
coming from liquid clustering, a particular table. Performance will do that same. It will not like engagement agent will not know the other one.
Okay, got it.
So that how this is the judge, this is the customized report, that kind of. Even I am like this. Our case is too much limited one. Like
Hmm.
common queries are coming from client side, so I will thought of to make a JSON, a
Okay.
standard response template to work it more better. Like the more you give the instruction to them, it will work good. And then I didn't thought about the user endpoint, how I will get a chatbot, maybe a
Okay.
integration or something, some
Ha.
on Slack, something like that.
Right.
Didn't thought about that currently, but yeah, this is the first draft of architecture.
Good. That's really great. And the work you said done, like you said, you do not have much hands-on with building architecture diagrams. Whatever you have built, it's explainable enough. And I think that's a really good piece of work.
Yeah, I hope so. Like after calculating the cost is left.
Ha.
So after that, maybe some iteration, some changes will be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. So you can stop sharing now. So one last question. ChatGPT able to help you? Just a percentage would help.
Uh, Initial brainstorming it helps, so I can think give 40%.
Okay. And how much human?
And maybe my I will give from my side maybe another 40%, and 20% I will give that human like who helps me. So
Okay.
yeah, so according
So
to that.
basically, more percentage still intact and stays intact to human touch only.
Yeah.
ChatGPT can help, but it can not help everywhere as we expect it to
Yeah.
be. Okay,
ChatGPT only help when you can do your brainstorm, you know how to solve this, but you need
correct.
clarity. Just
Right.
like liquid clustering, I know I have to do some sort of partitions, but I don't know how to do that. So I go perplexity and ask like, okay, I have to do this kind of partitioning part. So it give me the liquid clustering thought process. So that's how it
Okay.
helps. Not
Yeah.
directly it can say you like, okay, do this. It can't do
Okay.
that.
Okay,
Yeah.
Shuchi. So it was great having you. And
Yeah.
I hope everybody gets inspired from your work. And the work you've done is really great. And
Thank
thanks
you.
for sharing the approach you've used here. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.